In this video, I'm going to walk you through the install of an on-demand water heater replacing this 75-gallon direct vent water heater that's 21 years old. I'm a big fan of on-demand water heaters. I think they make a lot of sense. I've been beating this drum for a very long time. Today, we're going to be installing an X3 Pro line from A.O. Smith. Actually, it's the A.O. Smith Pro Line XE. And they use this X3 technology, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. Basically, we're going to take this big bad boy out. And if you think about it, the beauty behind on-demand water heaters, in my opinion, is the fact that you get endless hot water. This particular home has 4 bathrooms. We entertain quite a bit. It's our home. And so it's not uncommon that there are going to be 20 people here. Now, 20 people could take a shower, one after another, and never run out of hot water. With a 75-gallon unit, that's not the case. You can get a lot of showers out of it, but not that many. And the best part, in my opinion, about on-demand water heaters is when they're off, they're off. Now, you can install a return line, which will keep the water warm, and that will cycle the unit a little bit more. But in essence, when they're off, and that's where you save the most on your energy bills, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm not a plumber. I've done a lot of this. I've installed several of these on-demand water heaters, not this particular A.O. Smith one. So I want you to watch this video and be inspired to say, hey, I could do this. If you're not, get a licensed plumber. Don't mess around with it because there is gas, there is electric. Now, because this was a direct vent, there's a receptacle already set up there for me. There's a gas line that I'll repurpose to feed the unit, and I'll take you through the whole process of installing it. I've worked with enough plumbers. I've been around long enough to know. I mean, I used to work with a plumber that, he put 8 feet of pipe in the ground and he turned the water on and he said, kid, keep the head of the water. So that's an old plumber's joke, by the way. So this should go well. I'm anticipating that by the end of this video, which I know it will be, we'll have hot water coming out of this on-demand water heater that A.O. Smith provided. So hope you enjoy. Okay, like I said, this is a 75-gallon direct vent 21-year-old heater. It's huge. Drain it. Obviously, cut the pipes. I'm not going to show you how to pull this all out of here, but obviously you got to get it out of the way, and you're going to need some help because this thing weighs a ton. Now I've got all this space. So, opportunity to clean things up, maybe paint behind there. Now, the unit comes with a bracket, and you're going to go ahead and mount that bracket to the concrete. And I'm going to drill that bracket first in there. Now, you can use tap cons if that's what you want. I'm a little old school, so I use lags and shields, pound those things in there, and, mount that bracket to be able to hold it. The thing weighs about 100 pounds. And you should really get some help to hang this thing. Get this bracket as level as you can, obviously, to tighten it up because it hangs on there. And then there's going to be some additional bolts that you're going to put on the unit once it's hanging there. Okay, so I mounted it, and I put this bracket on the wall here. And when I went to drill into the concrete, it kind of threw me out of level. And so I had to plumb it up a little bit using legs at the top of the bottom. But now it's completely plumb. It's mounted exactly where I want to put it. And now I got to run the gas line. I got to connect the water lines, the condensate line, the cartridge that takes care of the calcification, and then do the venting. But so far, so good. So we got the gas line running now, coming down. And then that copper right there is the press tool. I've got a valve heading up there. And the next thing is going to be to get the cold water going and then the venting. And you can see I already got the canister installed, and we got to do the condensate filter and the condensate line. But it's going pretty well. And I'm excited to get this thing going. So if you're not a plumber like me, or if you are a plumber, this is your best friend, a torpedo level. You want to make sure that when you're doing all the piping, installing a heater like this, you want everything to be plumb and level, right? So use this to make sure that everything is right. And then like take a measurement from the wall when you're putting these pipes in so that everything runs straight. That way when you're done, not only do you have hot water, but you kind of look like you know what you're doing. Okay, we're just about finished up. I got my buddy Mike helping me, and the water line, I'm gonna connect the intake, the cold water line coming in. Mike's working on the venting it outside. Remember, straight, plumb, level. When you're doing this, you wanna get finished and look like you know what you're doing. But we're almost done getting ready to turn this thing on. Okay, so Mike's working on the venting. Now, this is a 2-inch line, intake and exhaust. And the old heater had a 3-inch. You can go ahead and use a reducer, as you can see there. And now we're done. Now, listen really quietly. The unit is running right now. And I'm going to be quiet and you're going to listen. It's unbelievably quiet as it's operating. And obviously you can adjust the temperature. I've got it at 120, which is plenty hot. And then here is that's that X3 canister down there. That is permanent. It's going to make sure that the heat exchanger doesn't calcify, and it's good for the life of the unit. It actually is quite amazing. You can see the condensate line coming down there. That clear tube is going to a drain, and there's a filter that comes off of there, which is very important. So the installation was a piece of cake. It took me, well, less than 8 hours to do the whole thing, removing the old tank, which I didn't show you, but to place this in its spot, very simple. And you know, the instructions, because it's an A.O. Smith, this is a professionally installed item, so you're not going to get like the DIY how to do it all. I used a press tool to do all the copper work, and I had to transition from some 1-inch feeder lines. This house has a well, came in, it has a whole house filter, so I'm filtering the water coming into the unit. It's recommended, and it's on the instructions, that you have a expansion tank on there. And what I was amazed at is how very quiet the unit is when it's running. I mean, almost unhurt. You can't hear it. It's just so quiet. It's unbelievable. There's a lot of options when it comes to putting in one of these X3s. I think the biggest thing is the fact that it has this cartridge to help with the calcification, which is really critical, because rinsing these units out has become a huge problem for it. And that really solves it. There is a filter for the condensate line coming out, because when the water comes through the system, it changes the pH, and that can be bad for plumbing pipes and septic systems. So make sure you use that. And the other thing too to know about this system, you can put them in a series depending on how many you want to put on there. There's a Wi-Fi controller. You can control the temperature and monitor the system remotely, which is a really nice feature. I didn't install that because I don't need that, but it's a really nice feature for remote applications if you're using something like this in a commercial application. But for a single family home, this beautiful unit that now is, you know, a third of the size of what that 75-gallon heater was, when it's off, it's off. And when it's on, you get continuous hot water. My thanks to A.O. Smith for providing this for me. They make a lot of different heaters under different brands, but A.O. Smith is one of the finest manufacturers out there, that's for sure. Thanks so much for watching.